energy, is your second biggest spend in hotels, right? I mean, in a lot of other commercial buildings, office spaces, etc., it tends to be the third biggest spend. In hospitality, the second biggest spend after people cost. And within energy, electricity tends to take the majority of the share, right? So 60% roughly, as per the trends in the hotel industry report, that's the largest expense, constitutes about 60%. It could be 65% for some people, 55% for some people, but on an average, it's about 60%. So if it is, anywhere from 7-8% to 12-13% of your overall operating cost, and you reduce it by 10%, you are actually making a good 1% dent or 2% dent on your overall profit margins, right? Which is significant in today's world. So so let's see how it translates into some of the challenges, right? So I already spoke about high energy cost as one challenge. The other challenges that we see people talking to us about is low guest comfort. Some areas are hot, some areas are cool. And especially when you own a portfolio of buildings, there is a lack of visibility at the corporate level or a director of engineering level who is managing multiple properties, that what's going on in each property. There are other aspects, around food spoilage because refrigeration health is not properly maintained. There are equipments breaking down. There are electrical health and safety issues. So there are, these myriad of issues, which we've understood that the customers have encountered. And what it does, so IoT is not just IoT. IoT is always, having some analysis. It could be a simple, very, very simplistic analysis, or it could be a complex machine learning or AI algorithm running in. But what we really do is we use sensors, and these are connected sensors. So these are not on-premise sensors which just keep the data locally on that side, but these are connected sensors and connected actuators, right? And then you generate real-time data from these systems. And what you really do is, because everything is now connected over internet, you have a central platform which provides you visibility across your buildings in a portfolio. Within a building at a very granular level, it runs intelligent controls. The system can run, the IoT systems can run much more intelligent controls than traditional automation systems, because there is a lot more data enabled processing that happen, and you can drive a lot more dynamic controls. Excuse me. And then there is a whole aspect of predictive maintenance. Once you start collecting data about chiller plant systems, about refrigeration systems, about many other assets in a building, wherever you can use the data to identify the health of these assets and predict failures, that's where the holy grail is, right? How do you reduce the breakdowns and increase the equipment life, right? And that really boils down into broad. I mean, there are many benefits, but it boils down to savings, energy savings, because you're now doing controls, and it is giving you visibility that how do you need to manage the settings better. It improves your compliance, both in terms of guest comfort as well as food safety, because now you're maintaining better temperatures, and then also reduces about 25 to 30% breakdowns, right? And the beauty of it is that these systems are inexpensive as compared to a BMS, and therefore the ROI, which could be a typical 3 to 4 year for a BMS, it is about 12 to 14 months or 15 months for an IoT based system. And again, these are not theoretical numbers. These are the numbers validated by our customers, that, they could achieve this ROI in so many months. And, it's a combination of savings, and savings are always more quantifiable, right? So you can always assess, how it is translating into a real ROI.